Ministry of Internal Affairs has invited you this afternoon for a major press conference that will be addressed by the Minister of Internal Affairs, the Honorable Francis Sakila Nyumalin Senior. We have in this conference hall deputy ministers, assistant ministers, and we are privileged to have Minister Sando, our lead in this business, collecting and propagating government information in a sure way that can help promote the development agenda of the government led by His Excellency President Joseph Nyumalin Senior, who, as you all know, is in the United States doing a magnificent job on behalf of our country. So thank you for coming. Over the last few months and weeks, His Excellency President Joseph Nyumalin Senior has engaged on a series of reconciliation initiatives for our country. And as you know, there were activities that we have not seen in a long time in our country, having to do with the reburial of our past leaders, a dignified reburial and a burial of one of the mothers of our nation, and a national unification ceremony that was held at the ministerial complex. Without further ado, these and other issues that are within the purview of the Minister of Internal Affairs will be addressed this afternoon. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, Minister of Internal Affairs, the Honorable Francis Sakila Nyumalin Senior, will now address the address.
Honorable Daniel Osano, Deputy Minister of Information, my colleague, Deputy Ministers, Assistant Ministers, and members of the MIA family, distinguished members of the Provost State, ladies and gentlemen. On July 5, 2025, the President of the Republic of Liberia, His Excellency Joseph Nyumalin Senior, launched the National Healing, Reconciliation and Unity Program for Liberia. Recognizing that Liberia's development and prosperity can likely be achieved through closure of the legacies of the Civil War, fostering healing, reconciliation, and unity of the nation, and believing that the journey towards achieving this has been challenging since the end of the Civil War in 2003, the President then undertook the below measures to address these challenges. Launched the National Healing, Reconciliation and Unity Program, offered national apology to the victims of the Civil War, mandated the implementation of the strategic roadmap for national healing, peace building, and reconciliation, further instructed the implementation of a national memorial and the Parahod system. 5, ensure that the transfer of the Truth and Reconciliation Commission archives from the U.S. to Liberia. And 6, reburied the remains of the 2 former presidents, William R. Tolbert Jr. and Samuel Kayando. These are practical steps toward genuine national healing, reconciliation, and social cohesion. This marks a crucial turning point for Liberia, and we must sustain the momentum. These measures by the President are aligned with the recommendations of the Truth and Reconciliation Commission, TRC, final report. The TRC was established as an essential integral part of the 2003 Comprehensive Peace Agreement and submitted its final report in 2009, containing 207 recommendations aimed at addressing the legacies of the Liberian civil conflict. While these recommendations are vital for Liberia's transformation from the effect of the Civil War to peace, security, and reconciliation, implementation has been quite slow due to the lack of political will, coupled with inadequate or lack of resources. The strategic roadmap for national healing, peace building, and reconciliation, launched in 2012 by the regime of Madam Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, then President of the Republic of Liberia, is an 18-year framework, 2013 to 2030. The roadmap contains 12 thematic pillars, including memorials, parenthood, and national apology, derived from the TRC recommendations. Implementation of these roadmap holds the greatest potential to fostering healing, rebuilding social cohesion, and complementing the former justice system. Therefore, the Minister of Internal Affairs, being the home for reconciliation, national reconciliation, and peace-building programs, in collaboration with other ministries, agencies, and commissions, and civil society organizations, will build on this momentum and thereby undertake the following. 1. Strengthen institutional coordination for national healing, peace building, and reconciliation. By this, we will seek endorsement of the President of Liberia to activate a National Reconciliation Steering Committee to guide reconciliation efforts in Liberia as envisaged by the 18-year strategic roadmap for national healing, peace building, and reconciliation. These structures will comprise relevant government institutions, civil society organizations, and the National Council of Chiefs and other traditional leaders. They will oversee the reconciliation initiatives, thus ensuring a whole of government approach and provide consistent policy directions. 2. Stakeholder engagements for the establishment of a national memorial park and war museum. We will conduct broad-based stakeholder consultations across the country to determine the design of the proposed national memorial park and war museum. The consultations will lie chiefly. The consultation will target chiefs, elders, interreligious council of Liberia, civil society organizations, youth and women groups, people living with disabilities, among others. Results from these consultations will be presented to the government and donor partners for resource mobilization and support. The plan is to work closely with UNDP, UN Resident Coordinator Office, ECOWAS, and other bilateral and multilateral institutions in this regard. The proposed plan is to build these structures at the Palm Grove Cemetery, and this will be tested through the consultations. 3. Establishment of a technical committee. A technical committee on this flagship initiative is hereby established and is comprised of the following. Liberia Peace Building Office of the Ministry of Internal Affairs, Office of the National Peace Ambassador, Independent National Commission on Human Rights, Governance Commission, Law Reform Commission, Office of the War and Economic Crimes Court, Civil Society Organizations, National Council of Chief Support Office, UNDP, and the UN Resident Coordinator Office, Office of the UN High Commission on Human Rights, International Organization for Migration, Diaspora Office at the Ministry of State and the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, and Teaching, the Ministry of Finance and Development Planning. The role of the Technical Committee will include, but not limited to, designing the broad-based consultations, developing resource mobilization strategy, and providing technical support to the proposed Independent National Reconciliation Steering Committee. We shall work closely with the media to implement these activities outlined in this press conference. Ladies and gentlemen, we thank you.
Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, the minister will take a couple of questions. Please call your name, your institution, and place your question. As much as possible, let's concentrate on the subject of our press conference this afternoon. So you may now put your questions in. Well, if there are no questions, then it means the minister was very clear and straightforward in why this press conference. I want to now use this opportunity to, without prior notice, ask the Honorable Sando, who is our bossman in this business, to just maybe fire us up as to how to treat this very valuable information that is provided this afternoon.
Well, there's not much I can say because the minister and chairperson of the committee have already spoken. What we can do is to work with the committee very closely, and because the activities are very important to our progress of the country, sustaining true national reconciliation and national healing means a whole lot for our country. And I do believe what he just outlined are very important steps that we need to take. So we'll work closely with the committee to always highlight and publicize the activities.
Thank you, Minister Sando. Well, that ends the press conference this afternoon. We encourage you to contact the ministry in case you don't understand anything. Our offices are always open to provide you the necessary information so the public is adequately informed as to the workings of the Ministry of Internal Affairs. We'll now ask the press to recess with the press office of MIA, and then we'll have further consultations. Thank you very much.
Thank you.